Hey guys, it's Sniper1 here, and today you join me back on the Settle Carlisle line. Hello driver, we are now about to embark on the final leg of the route learner as far as Settle, and at the highest point in the rail network, save for a couple of small climbs, much of the route now heads downhill into North Yorkshire. You are clear to depart immediately. So let's drop these brakes off, and let's get cracked on, eh? Oh, we need a bit more power than that. Now we've only got a speed limit of 30 coming out of here. And we are on the flat, but hopefully the train should not accelerate too quickly. So this is the last of the learning the ropes scenarios, so I'm pretty sad to see the end of these. It's been quite fun learning the line and learning little snippets of history from our good friend Bob, who's invisible. So yes, hopefully this shouldn't take us too long. It says it's a 25-minute scenario, so we shall soon see. So we can get up to 60 miles an hour here now, so we shall just let the train proceed on up there. Yep, our last starting in the class 66 over this beautiful picturesque line. Bit of a frame drop there. Oh, look at that. That is a wonderful view. So yeah, let us proceed along the line. Once we get up to 60 we'll just drop the power off for a bit. So we've got a nice little viaduct coming up ahead. When's our first little information point then? Just under 2 mile away. So that's pretty awesome. There it is on the map, tutorial marker 1. Bob will have a wonderful snippet of information for us as he always does. Yeah, I'm gonna miss driving this scenario. It's a good fun scenario. Hopefully we shall be making our way back through some more of the other standard scenarios and get through some of the career scenarios on this line. Apologies there, just had a little rush of air come out of me, also known as a burp. So we are just about up to our 60 mile an hour speed limit. Let's just roll it back to about... oh, the train doesn't know what to do with itself here with that speed. There we go. For some reason I just couldn't get it to sit at 13%. We're a bit of a weird one. Yeah, this class 66 has definitely been a wonderful train over this route. Would have been nice to have done the whole thing all at once. That would have been a hellishly long video. I definitely would have had to have cut that down. But sadly they've been manageable chunks, so I don't mind. So here we are at our first tutorial marker, the first of... oh, there's only 8. So here we go. Let's see what Bob's got to tell us. We are now approaching one of the many great engineering marvels of the Settle Carlisle line, Blairmore Tunnel. Taking over 4 years to complete, the tunnel is the longest on the route at 2,629 yards and lies over 500 foot below the top of the moor on which it is named. Ah, we've got a speed limit coming up there. That'll be what the good old AWS marker were thought on. By hell, it is dark in here. There we go. Get some lights on. So we do have a 35 mile an hour speed limit coming up. So I shall apply some brake. It's not for another mile yet, but it's not as if we're going anywhere fast. Should be able to start braking at about half a mile, I would say. At that speed we only need to lose about 10-15 mile an hour, not much. Must be a curve in this tunnel. I can see the light at the end. Right, start thinking about braking shortly. Must have some points to be going across. That's the only thing I can be thinking of. So just drop off the brakes again, slowing down a bit too much. We'll let it get to about 0.2 of a mile. That should be enough to bring us to a steady halt. Well, we're not coming to a stop, we're only dropping a few mile an hour off our speed. There we go. I heard the AWS ping. Ah yes, we were definitely going around a curve in the tunnel there. And here we are at our next tutorial marker. Let's just get a bit more breakage in there. Don't want to be emerging from the magnificent tunnel. We are now approaching another engineering marvel, Ribblehead Viaduct. The speed limit of the viaduct is 30 miles an hour, so you will now need to reduce your speed. Ah yes, I've encountered this area already, back when I was doing the Ribble runaround standard scenario. So another, yep, thought there'd be a warning there. So needs to be dropping down to 30 miles an hour. Not yet though, but better to be prepared than not prepared. So Blamer up reverse. Do apologise, just have a bit of a frog in my throat. So that's obviously the reverse. Up speedings. Didn't notice that. Not that it matters, we're not losing any points. But that's beyond the point. So here we are at the Ribbleshead Viaduct. I think it's this one, yep. I can't remember how to fly around in this. Oh. No. Is it the... Ah, there we go. So just keep an eye on the speed of the train while we're doing this as well. So with 24 arches, the Ribbleshead Viaduct is around 400 metres long and sits 32 metres above the River Ribble Valley at its highest point. Following service in the 1980s and attempts by British Rail to close the line completely, remedial work was done along this line, being single track to enable the route to remain open. And here it is. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Oh yeah. First time I've used a free camera really, if you can tell from my wonderful little blunder I did earlier. No, that doesn't pause it. But yeah, look at that. What an engineering feat that is. Let's get a good snapshot of our train going across here. Such a beautiful place, definitely want to visit it in real life at some point. Yeah, beautiful. Breaking the speed limit though, aren't I? Not being very careful, but hey ho. So that was the Ribbleshead Viaduct, so here's our next tutorial marker. God, these coaches aren't half giving me a good push. Well, they're not coaches, to be fair. So, here we go. Here's our next tutorial marker. After crossing the impressive viaduct, we now approach the station at Ribblehead. When it reopened in 1986, the station only had one platform due to the northbound platform having been demolished to make way for construction sidings. However, in 1993 a replacement platform was built slightly further south, meaning the up and down platforms are now staggered. So this is the original platform to our left here, and this is the rebuilt platform. So I'm guessing that these were the sidings that it was demolished to make way for. So we can get back up to 60 once we get through here. Then I do believe we've only got a couple more tutorial markers here, and then we stop at settle platform 1. Right, let's get her up and back up. Now we are going downhill, so shouldn't be too much of an issue. So we've got just over 4 miles to go to our next tutorial marker, which at 60 mile an hour it won't take long at all, will that? Yeah, such a picturesque place. Oh, look at that. Rolling countryside. Beautiful. So we are ready downhill here, so I'll just drop us back to 50% power for now. Ah, yeah. We are cruising now. Doing fantastic. Let's just drop off the power completely, give it a little touch on the brakes. Because we are actually going downhill, so we'll just let gravity do its job. We don't really need to be accelerating too much, as we are. There we go. Just need to keep a close eye on that speed. Just give it a quick burst of brakes every now and again. Look at that, we're covering the distance really well now. Oh, let's just tickle the brakes again. So, just over 2.5 miles to go. Engineer's shed outside there. Oh, a little river down there. Oh, beautiful. Oh, just keep an eye on that speed. Yeah, try not to break the speed limit too much. I know we're not going to be losing points and that for it, but that's beyond the point. So just under 2 miles now to go. As we make our way along this wonderful line, I'm really impressed. Really enjoyed these couple of scenarios. It's been nice learning about the line. Nice little look there. Well, nice house, not a nut. Need to get on the brakes again. We'll just drop a good bit of speed there, and then we don't have to worry about it for too long. Come on, don't want to be breaking too many speed limits, do we? So, 1 mile to go to our next tutorial marker. Wonder what good old Bob's got to tell us this time, eh? Could be awesome. Oh, hopefully it is anyway. Ah, rolling countryside. If I had the time to be a train driver, I think I'd get distracted by the countryside too much. Just drop a bit of speed again. I'll just drop a good bit of speed actually coming up to this tutorial mark so I can actually read it and not worry about the speed too much. Right then. Here we go, here's our next tutorial marker. It's probably about this station here. Descending further into North Yorkshire, we now approach Horton in Ribblesdale. Along with several other stations on this line, this station was closed in 1970, only to be reopened in mid-1980s. Aye, grand bit of information. So just got over 3.5 miles to go to our next tutorial marker. And as you can see, we're still on a downwards trend. But it does look like the line's flattening out shortly. So just keep an eye on that speed. Don't want to be losing too much of it. Well, we can lose a good chunk of it, to be fair. Oh yeah. Keep an eye on that speed. I think that's probably the only whistleboard I've actually seen and completed required action. So we are actually still going downhill at this moment in time. Good chunk of downhill. We haven't got a passenger view because we've got trucks on, haven't we? Let's just give this brakes a squeeze. As we drop down further into good old Yorkshire. Well, good old North Yorkshire anyway, at least. Oh, passenger train. Give them a quick toot. They'll definitely appreciate that. Now it would appear that we are actually slowing down a bit. Let's just give it a little tickle of power. We don't need too much. Oh, look at that. That's a nice bridge. I like that. Ah, here's our next tutorial marker. Just over 1.5 miles to go. Won't take long, we're back up to 60 already. Didn't take long. So, tutorial marker number 6. I wonder what snippet of info Bob's got for us. As always, each bit of information is actually really interesting to me. Do like learning about history of lines and bits and, well, I just like learning about history in general, to be honest. Oh, nice little stream there. We'll just keep an eye on that speed. As we are still headed downhill, so always helps. Just scrape off a good bit of speed actually, so I can take my time and read this tutorial marker and not have to worry about anything else. So we are still gaining a good chunk of speed. Let's just whack a good bit of breakage on. There we go. So we're down to 50 miles an hour. At least we'll be able to give the sign a good read. Well, not the sign, but the snippet of information that Bob is going to deliver to us. I would assume it's about this tunnel. Yep. As we near the end of our journey, we approach the final tunnel on this section of the line. Staying for the tunnel, please start reducing your speed accordingly for the up and coming stop at Settle. Ah. So we've got 2 miles to go to stop, which loads of time. The brakes on this train are actually really good. And that's going to sadly bring us to the end of these 3 scenarios. Definitely been a good lot of fun. Definitely worth picking up this expansion if you are interested in it. So there's our next tutorial marker, and there's our final stop at Settle. So just over a mile to go to our last tutorial marker. Just gonna give it a little tickle on the brakes down to about 50 mile an hour. There we go. So we shouldn't be too far off now. Just need to keep an eye on that speed actually, because it will take a little while to come to a stop. We'll just drop it down to about 46. So our last tutorial marker is coming up in half a mile. And also our final stop on the line, which is Settle, platform 1. Start dropping off a good bit of speed. Then at least we can come to a reasonably controlled stop. Okay then, so let's see what this last tutorial marker has to tell us. I would assume it's about Settle, to be fair. Just give it a good squeeze on the brake there, just so we don't overrun the platform or anything daft while we're here. And here we are, approaching the final destination of your route learning journey today. Please slow down and prepare to stop at Settle, where I'll be taking over for the remainder of the journey to Leeds. Ah, such a shame. It'd be nice to drive all the way through to Leeds on this line. So all we have to do is come to a nice stop, please. Just gonna overrun a little bit maybe. Definitely should have started braking a little bit earlier than that. Oh no, we just made it, we're just in. So yeah, that has been the Learning the Ropes Part 3. So hopefully you have all enjoyed these scenarios. If you have, feel free to leave us a like and a comment. If you haven't enjoyed them, feel free to leave a dislike and a comment on what I could do to improve them. And maybe I shall revisit them in a later video. So, thank you driver, and I hope you've enjoyed your first run over the Settle and Carlisle line. Hopefully I didn't bore you too much with the history of this line. So guys, thank you very much for tuning in, and we shall see you next time.